In this section, we will be working on basically the information functions. There are n numbers of different information functions like cell, count blank, is error, uh, is error, is logical, is NA, is non-text, is number, is reference, is text. Okay. So there are n numbers of different information functions. So you can also check the information functions here. So you can just go to the more function, see the information functions, and you will find n numbers of different functions that is available in the information set. This functions basically gives you the different information that is there in the cell or related to your Excel sheets. Okay. Out of those, all the functions that are regularly used or that is of much use for all of our regular purpose is the cell function, count blank, is blank, and is NA. Okay. Although is NA is the functions that actually have the combination when we are using the functions like VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP or logical functions, then we find that there is an error of hash NA. Okay. Is NA function is basically to identify that hash NA. Okay. And when we identify that hash NA, it actually enables us to do what we want to do when the hash NA comes in. Okay. This is a usual problem, so especially when we use the VLOOKUP function. So we'll cover this hash NA functions when we will be doing the VLOOKUP functions or the functions related to data mining. Okay. Till that time, let's concentrate on the functions related to cell functions. Count blank, is blank. Okay. So now, for example, I have kept in here that we have got 17.5%. Okay, so this is the cell that contains to the test. Okay, so we have got 17.50%. So first thing is that we want to know the address of the cell. Okay, to know the address of the cell, the function is quite simple. It is basically how we defined is equal to cell. Okay, then the function will be invoked, and then what is the kind of information that you are looking forward for. Okay, so there are n numbers of different options that is available, that talks about address, that talks about column, that talks about color. Okay, then content, file name, format, parentheses, prefix, protect, whether it is protected or not, and then we have the rows, type, and width. Okay, so for example, we are looking forward for address as if now. Okay, and then we need to have the which particular cell we want to have the address for. Okay, now it is giving us the address as D3. Okay, why it is giving the address as D3? That the position is at the column number 3, column number D, and row number 3. Okay, so this is basically the address of that. Other way of doing, when that I have already discussed when I was discussing about the environment, is that you will be able to find the address of the cell here. Okay, so this D3 is, you can see here also, and here also. And if you want to know the column, okay, the function remains the same, that is the cell, and then we have to go for the column. Okay, and then we have to select the reference number, reference cell where we want to know for that, and then we have got the column and so on. Okay, it's quite very easy. Okay, and if you want to see what kind of format it is, okay, then we have to just select the cell. Okay, go to format. Okay, and then select. Okay, so we get P2 as a format. Okay, so similarly we can have the cell, whether there is a prefix or anything like that, so we can use the function of cell and get the information from there. Other important function is your count blank and is blank. Okay, so let's first check the function of is blank. Okay, the function for is blank is basically, it's a logic, you can information function, or you can say it's also a logical function. It's basically check whether the function is the cell in reference is blank or not. Okay, now it will return false if there is the data is not blank and will return as true when the data is blank. Okay, and if we see, let's see if the function call is non-blank, is then we have got the function is it is a number. Okay, and we have to check it. It says that yes, it is a number. Okay, and then if we drag, then we find that hello is basically a character, a string. Okay, so if you use the function of is text and check, as since it is this one is number, next one is text, it is giving true and so on. Okay, and this is a function. Okay. Uh, okay, now what we are looking forward for another function, that is count blank. Okay, count blank basically is a function in entire column. It will find how many blanks are there. Okay, so either there are two way of option is that we have to you have seen that we have got two position as blank. Okay, so you can count. Okay, but it is very difficult when you are working with a large number of data. So to for that we have to use the function of count blank, and then we have to identify that range. Okay, so we have got two as blank positions. Okay, now there is another function, that is count a. Okay, count a functions basically counts the number of rows where there are datas. Okay, so count a is just opposite to count blank. Okay, count a will count the number of the cells in the range in which there are some values. Count blank will be counting those cells which are basically blank.